Faith versus religion. We are taught to walk by faith, not by sight. Religion is man-made. So the ones that circle right here, these are the Abrahamic religions. The religion of man. Notice the queen at the very top for the tribe of Dan. So somebody left a comment in one of my videos and tried to say how it was pagan. And I explained to him so are the pagan holidays that the Christians celebrate, such as Christmas and Easter, and the cross and the fish. So you notice right here, it says fish, and the X for Christ. The fish is for the fertility goddess. It is the woman's private area. The X or the Chi is for their Cristo, the Jewish sun god Isus, whose birthday also happens to be on December 25th. And you notice the X right behind the cross? The same one of Scientology, the worship of the sun, moon, and stars. And his name is not Isus or Jesus, his name is Joshua HaMashiach, with a Y, not a J. And Joshua was nailed to a tree, so he hung from a tree, not a cross. It's in the scriptures. A Freemason church service. And there goes Jesus on the cross in the background. Also, Aleister Crowley, cross. What fellowship does righteousness have to do with unrighteousness? And there goes the Queen of Heaven with her rosary, and there goes Nimrod with the cross around his neck. Celine Dion's Very Demonic commercial. In it, there are babies in the cribs and there are demons around the cribs. And you see all the crosses all around. So they gave us an image to worship. The all-seeing eye right above him, above Jesus. How about this one? The IHS. That happens to stand for Isis, Horus, and Seth. And by the way, that happens to be the black sun. So originally John's calendar was 13 months. So the Romans had it changed to 12 months. So the days of the week, pagan. Also the days of the month, and these silly Christian holidays. All pagan. Merry Xmas. For Joshua was born this month, September 11th. Our feast days happen to be this month. The Feast of the Trumpets. December 25th is for the birthday of the sun god. For the practices of the people are worthless. They cut a tree out of the forest, and a craftsman shapes it with a chisel. Also in the reading Ezekiel, I saw women sitting there weeping for Tammuz, the Babylonian fertility god. The northern kingdom fell first into captivity for worshiping the Queen of Heaven. Also, Saturn, L for Saturn. You see what he's holding? Well, that's the cross. And this is also a shekel. St. Peter's, L. Saturn, Saturnalia. Saturnalia is actually Christmas. And again, you see circled on the bottom, Islam created by the Vatican. Again above, God of Gods, Janos Pater. As in the first Pope, St. Peter, Peter is Janos. Janos was the first Pope. And he also is Sibyl, the fertility goddess as well. Notice how it says Revelation 2:9, synagogue of Satan. Revelation 2:9, the synagogue of Satan. The ones that gave us the so-called holidays and took away our feast days. The ones that warned the people of Israel by involving them in sexual sin and encouraged them to do idol feasts, such as Christmas and Easter. The Catholic Church, the word Catholic means universal. The coming together collectively. The Catholic Church is the mother of all churches. Chrislam, the one world religion. The worship of the sun, moon, and stars. First Korean saint statue unveiled at the Vatican. All religions coming together. And by the way, saints are for Satan. As in Satan Claus. Claus meaning victory of the people. Nicholas, a moniker famous for its association with the beloved man in red. Satan Claus, red as in Esau was red. Northern Kingdom and Judah is the Southern Kingdom. The Northern Kingdom fell first, and we lost everything and went into captivity, and our lands were taken from us. The siege of Jerusalem, Babylonian captivity. North America, these ancient Israelites. Library of Congress. African American, by DNA, proves that they are the Hebrews of the Bible. Why do you think the curses match our people perfectly? The curses of Deuteronomy. Satan Claus. Jesus saves. So religion is man-made, and the true Sabbath does not fall on the Sunday. In fact, it goes against the commandments of keeping his day holy. Jah, who made the whole world and everything in it, is the Lord of heaven and earth and does not live in temples built by human hands. In fact, church comes from the goddess, a pagan goddess, who would turn the people into swine. In fact, I noticed that a lot of people that go to these churches have taken the vax. They were told that they can't go back to service unless they took it. And if you were led by the right spirit, you would know that you were not to take it. That's the mixing of metal with clay. And it's a track and trace system. But these all have a form of godliness, but denying its power. The Antichrist checklist. Who ended the law? Who ended the Sabbath? Who ended the feast days? And whose image is worshipped? And who sits on most people's temples? Jesus. People seem to think that America is a Christian nation, that the people that were here were savages that needed to be saved. But all the founding fathers are Luciferian. The Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty, ISIS. And by the way, they're also the presidents or Jesuits, God's assassins. The Rothschilds, Anunnakis, those from heaven to earth come, Rh negative blood type. The Rothschilds, elongated skulls. That also includes the Rockefellers. Rockefeller built his house on a blood sacrifice altar on Jackal Island. The Guli are historic Native Americans, our tribal brothers and sisters. The Red Nations were copper color. There was no India at that time. That area was called Hindustan back then. In fact, Columbus called us una gente en Dios, which means a people of God, because he knew very well who we were. All the U.S. presidents are related to one man, English King John. So that means that they all share the same blood type, Rh negative blood type. And there goes Prince Edward in one of his Freemason ceremonies. And there's the all-seeing eye right above. The Winslers, Queen Elizabeth, shapeshifter. And you should know by now that there's no such thing as a Star of David. And also during the Commonwealth Games, they called it the Tower of Babel. King Charles is also related to Val the Impaler, the Order of the Dragon, the coat of arms of King Charles, the Red Dragon, City of London, Dragon Worship. And by the way, America is still under British rule. We are a colony. So there's a snake, the horse for the rider of the pale horse, and there's the eagle. And there goes ISIS, the Germanic people, the Roman Empire. So back to the cross, the moon, the sun, and the earth. And you see when you put it together, Mercury, their god. And notice how the earth is a cross, because it's Mother Earth, Gaia, another name for the fertility goddess, all over again. And there goes the cross above his head. Who are the descendants of Esau today? The Romans, and to a larger extent, all Europeans. So the Antichrist comes to the tribe of Dan. That's where you get names like London, Danahue, Denmark, Scandinavia. And there goes the cross. So they gave us an image to worship, right? It was the cross. So your mind is your worship and your hand is how you work, how you make money. So it's going to happen again. This time it's going to be AI. He caused all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads. Notice the cross and the chip? So the tribe of Dan is Germany, Denmark. Danites, the Danish royal family portrait. So these are Ashkenazi Jews from Khazaria. They had a conversion. In Jeremiah 51, they're going to be joining the Medes and other nations to come against America. Ashkenazi. They descend from where? Central Eastern Europe, including Poland and Russia. You're going to want to remember Russia. And the beast that I saw was like a leopard, and his feet were like a bear's. You're going to want to remember bears. Endgame, Denver International Airport. Some of the images of the mural, well, this is war, obviously, and the killing of the Holy Spirit. The rider of the white horse brings a rainbow right above. Also part of the Denver, Colorado airport murals. And there goes the leopard, the beast, Obama, standing in front of the mural, in front of the leopard. And who's on the coffins? The Northern and the Southern Kingdom. And that's what the end game is. They're going after the bloodline. And now, O Azanai, bring down your warriors. Collect the nations, bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there I will sit to pronounce judgment on them all. Now let the shekel do its work. The harvest is ripe and waiting. Tread the winepress, for it is full of overflowing with the wickedness of these men. The shekel, Russia and China. The Holy Grail, the Aryan race. An Aryan is a citizen of Tartaria. which is part of Europe and Asia. Russia and China. Magog, Japheth's son. The 7 sons of Japhet. You see the Romans and Greeks above, the ones that gave us our religion? And do you see Russia? Magog, Japhet. And who else? The Chinese, the Mongols. Tataria, erased from historical records. And that also includes the Ukraine. Ukrainian Catholic leader, Kiev, is being transformed into the spiritual capital of the world. I posted a video because they make it into the New Jerusalem over there. That's what all our resources are going over there, to the Ukraine. They're all part of the Brotherhood. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japhet. The Israelites come from Shem. Japhet are the white races, the Caucasian nations. The white Khazars, identity thieves, also known as the 13th tribe. You ever notice how they say that we evolved from apes and how the Anunnakis played a role in it? Not all humans evolved from apes. Those are the Neanderthals. They came from apes. That's why the carriers of the Rh-negative blood types are born with tails. Not all, but most of them are. And then they're red, white, with blue or green eyes. And Esau was red. And those are of the reptilian blood type, Rh-negative. And like I explained earlier, the Queen of England, shapeshifter, reptilian. And this is in the Vatican, St. Peter's. That is their God coming out of the pit of hell. Those are flames. He is shedding his skin. And that is a reptilian head. The snake. Snake is a reptilian. Remember Russia. Russian Federation. Putin. New World Order. The first one to come out was red, and his whole body was like a furry garment, so they named him Esau. The name Edom is also attributed to Esau, meaning red. Rothschild means red shields. So it goes from the Canaanites, the tribe of Dan, to the Vatican. And by the way, because they created Islam, Sharia law is also coming. Right next to Kabbalah, Sharia law. To the king of Babylon, every pharaoh in U.S. history. And Obama would be the last pharaoh in America. So get out of her so you don't fall under the plagues that are coming upon the earth. Because all they're doing is leading people to hell. So pray for wisdom, the Ruach, to guide you. For Joshua's sacrifice to humanity was to leave us the Holy Spirit, the Ruach, which in the scriptures is also referred to as wisdom.
Regarding the demise of Great Tataria in northern Russia really is a process that took many, many centuries. It wasn't one event or one factor that actually completely destroyed the civilization of Great Tataria in northern Russia. We have to remember that because of the very essence of the communities and societies of Great Tataria, with the aspirations that so many of the individuals, the residents in the towns and cities of Great Tataria had towards focusing on Christ consciousness and personal and spiritual development, and really not focusing on third-party debt-based usury, even if it was gold and silver backed. The idea of banks and corporations really had very little place in terms of emphasis in the civilization of Great Tataria.
Rothschilds come from the Orsini family. Roth means red in German, and the Orsini means red bear, little red bears. That's what Orsini means. The Grey Pope is Pepe Orsini. He trumps the black, he trumps the white Pope.
The Grey Pope is even higher than the black and the white Pope.
The Orsini is the Maxima family. They are the maximum family. They are on top. And somehow they've trumped the Colonna and the Farnese, which I know without any doubt through all my studies that they are the 3 most powerful Illuminati.
What about Rothschild and Rockefeller?
Well, they are Orsini. They just changed their name. Rockefeller were Rothschilds. Rothschilds were Orsini. Orsini were a family which have their lines in Babylon and Egypt. They tell you that. You read their biographies. They'll tell you that. We go back to Nimrod. They tell you that. The Rothschilds say that. We go back to Nimrod. How? Through the Orsini. So Rockefeller, Rothschild, Orsini, and then you go back to the Persian and Egyptian.
The entire world. Many people know about the Pope, but what if he's not the only Pope? Rumor has it that there are 3 popes in existence. The White Pope, which everyone knows, the Black Pope, and the Grey Pope, each trumping each other in terms of power. The White Pope is the leader of the Vatican Church, and the Black Pope is the leader of the Society of Jesuits. However, when it comes to the Grey Pope, it is a whole different story. Well, you'll see. The Grey Pope, or more commonly known as Pepe Orsini, is the latest heir from a long bloodline of black nobility that are the movers and shakers behind world control, with their dynasty going way back to even Babylonian times. Today, they are the world's most powerful family heading the Illuminati, with even the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers reporting to them, but not many people know that.